It's my honor to be here to present you this story of Searchlight. You see, what I will get you through a little bit about myself. I'm the founder of EdTech company. It's for consulting about educational technologies. For the OpenStack Searchlight, I am the media for this cycle. And I also the co-reviewer of OpenStack Freezer, Phoenix projects, and I'm an active contributor of the the Doctor projects. Right now I'm living in Seoul as the NLP researcher at Sungshin University. So first I want to tell you about the story about Searchlight. Searchlight was born out of Project OpenStack Lane in the Kilo release. But at first they want to create a catalog indexing service for Lane, but they finally decided to create a separate projects that can scale and search for all of the service of OpenStack. This is the general architectures of Searchlight. Basically, Searchlight is based on the Elasticsearch. It's the search engine. I think that you may be familiar. The first time you deploy Searchlight, it will be indexing all of the information of the OpenStack services into Elasticsearch, and then the Searchlight listener that will listen to all of the update of the services and pull that information to the Elasticsearch, and then the API for query and the command line interface for querying the information. That's the very basic, very simple architectures. But this presentation is not about not too deep about the technical part of Searchlight, but it's about what happened with Searchlight last time. I think you already know that the OpenStack is moved into the stand cycle, and the last cycle is rocky. The Searchlight team, the last Searchlight team, they cannot release, which means nothing new released to the community. So, and the last project team leader, he's moved to another company. He stopped contributing. He stopped working on Searchlight, and which means no leader, no one else, and the other contributor stopped working on it as well. So there's no one there. So Searchlight basically is a dead project. It's died. It missed several milestones. There are no release, no patches, and the technical community cannot contact the detail, the leader of the project. But what happened? So they decided to delete Searchlight, remove Searchlight from the official projects. That means what does that mean? It means that if they remove Searchlight, they will not cover Searchlight in the OpenStack, and Searchlight will not be part of the community, which means it will be die soon. And then after that, before the stand cycle, I have no idea about Searchlight. I have no experience working with Searchlight or any part of it, except for some experience in the other projects. But I think there is some values that is very useful. I think it's the future of the cloud computing. Such as this, you can search instead of going to each services like Nova or Notron to get the information you want. You go to Searchlight and search. There's only one interface. You search everything. It's like Google or Naver. neighbor of OpenStack or the cloud computing. That's very useful, I think. And it can provide you the near real-time search. And if you want to add new kind of services information to Searchlight, it's very easy. The structure is in plugin style. You can write some file, some Python code, and it can get the information into Elasticsearch, and you can query, you can search very easy. It's like neighbor of the OpenStack. Can you imagine work without Google or neighbor? It's very hard to find the information of the cloud or any virtual machine. If something wrong with your cloud, it's very hard. You have without the searching functionality, you have to go directly to the service and query everything manually. Very hard, very complicated. But with Searchlight, you go to Searchlight, you can search everything, every service from Node.js, Nova, Swift, Cinder, Designate, and Lens, and etc. You can search everything. Which means you can search all the things. That's very cool. And then I decided to volunteer. Working in the OpenStack community is a voluntary job. But people may think the big project team leader might be a very good, very superstar developer, very smart. No, I have no idea about Searchlight. I have no experience of Elasticsearch. But what the job of detail for a couple months in the position, I figured out that I just planning, cleaning up the mess, organize meetings, find more contributors, and I have to make sure I can release the new version of Searchlight in the next milestone, which is coming next week, I think. So that is my job. It's not technical at all. I'm not good at it. So what we have done so far, I take working on the projects from August. Now I can really show that I clean up everything. Most of the existing bugs and patches, I moved the Searchlight bug management to the new system, the storyboard, and again also communicate with the other two active contributors. I have some. We have several meetings and decide some features to release. And this is what we want to release in the next milestone, which is I think next week. Yeah. Most of things we have done. We have now Searchlight support Elasticsearch 5 on export. The latest version of Elasticsearch is 6x, but after we upgrade to 5x, it's very easy to work with 6x. And I fix most of the bugs, and I talk the test in the framework. If you are familiar with OpenStack, all of the projects are working with talks for testing. So talks now use Python 3 by default now. It's finished. And it's also one of the community goals for Stone. And the document also clean. So hopefully at the end of next week, we will have the new version of the Searchlight. I think it's one of the achievements. But to tell you this true, there's only 3 of us working on the project now. But actually, I am the only one that reviewing the batches and fixing bugs. The other 2 they live in they sometimes looking at the batches and reviewing, but for some reason they they will not communicate for a couple months. You know, because it's the nature of open source projects. You are not paid. You're not paid to do it. It's free. It's volunteer. So I also get contacted from two other contributors, but they're not really sure if they want committed to Searchlight. So that's we need your help. We need the community to jump in and help and making the cloud a better one with Search. That's very easy to ask one of the famous OpenStack guy is the Monty Taylor, one of the OpenStack administrator. The decision is made by those who show up, which means you doesn't have to be a smart guy. You don't have to very superstar in coding or very genius. You just show up in the meeting and you discuss with us and you make the decision together. It's the goal of the community. This is it's very easy to contribute, and I'm here to welcome you to join me to the Searchlight projects. It's very easy. If you have experience, you can help us to review batches. If you have some idea, you design something, you can write a blueprint. And if you find some bugs, you can report it. And you can just go into the ESC chat and talk with us, chat with us to discuss. And we have meeting too every 2 weeks on Thursday, 9 p.m. Seoul time, and on the channel. It's very easy to get started. Like myself, I encourage you to help because it's so. You can just start by go to the channel and ping me. I'll be there to help to get started. If you don't know something, I will help you to learn. So I think it's the very project's onboarding session. If you ever go to an OpenStack summit, you will see this kind of presentation just to welcome new contributor. I think in the university where I'm working, I saw a lot of talented people working on the OpenStack. I think there will be a lot of good people here in Korea that can. And I think I heard that a lot of companies in Korea are using OpenStack. I think it's a good chance if you join the project.
So his question is in this diagram for Elasticsearch. His question is where such Elasticsearch is installed and deployed in OpenStack environments, such as another dedicated server to run on Elastic database or on a OpenStack instance.
It's demand. It doesn't matter. It can be deployed everywhere. Because it's a separate service. It is OpenStack. It is this stuff.
Just calling another where the server.
As long as that they can communicate, it's okay.
And his next question is, in this diagram, it seems that this service is mainly intended for fast searching. And how about connecting such services with sending some alerts or warnings? So, is it possible to connect with such services?
Yes. Right now, but that feature is not available. But you can make it. But the original goals of the Searchlight project is for search, indexing information.
Any information?
Including some OpenStack log messages?
Yes.
For example, global log messages,
Yes.
Horizon log messages?
Yes, everything. It depends on what you want. But right now there is a number of like 6 services that can be indexed into Searchlight.
Including low meshes or just some,
What?
which kind of indexing, which content? For example, in Nova, then which content?
The notification information,
Notification information.
yeah, like some compute node is restarting, or some a new virtual machine has been instantiated. There are always some messages generated by the service itself, and Searchlight, the Searchlight listener can get that information directly using the service API.
So in this diagram, the service plugins are the plugins on OpenStack services. For example, where such service plugins are run in Searchlight controller or the target services on Nova.
In Searchlight.
In Searchlight.
So that's plugin is just some wrapper, the wrapper classes to using the OpenStack Services API. For example, the Nova API. Nova API. API. Yeah. That plugin has some functions that calling the REST API to get the information.
And in this case, then do we need to additionally configure in each services? For example, in Nova, then we need to edit nova.conf file to
No.
additionally
We configure the Searchlight plugin.
Then the method how to collect some event from API is a kind of some regular polling.
Yes. Yeah, some regular periodic.
Then how about some notification from services?
Yes.
Is it also possible?
Yes.
Then in this case, I think that we need to register some configuration in each services.
Yes, in the Searchlight configuration, there is a section called like Nova script length that you will define.
Well, usually then in this case, then we just configure Searchlight. And then how about some additional notification when there, for example, there is an event on Nova service,
Maybe.
and then it
Polling is you automatically getting that.
currently just polling method is supported.
As long as the plugin is up to date. For example, if the Nova is they release a new feature, a new kind of messages or notification, you have to update the plugin. Let me show you the here is the plugin. For example, the Nova plugin, you have some utility classes like hypervisor, flavor, notification. These files will take care of the different kind of information from
고생하셨습니다.